I got another Chinese astrology video for you, and this is information on the rat. You know, so I have the rat. What is the rat? The rat, the traits of the rat, this animal. This animal is quick witted, right? They're resourceful. These people, they're smart too, but they may lack courage. Certain ones may lack courage. Um, and it's dependent upon that element that's attached to the rat and also what their other pillars are, the day master specifically too, right? If they, lack the courage more, they might be a more courageous rat, but most of them lack courage. But they are intelligent and, like I said, quick-witted and resourceful, right? They take advantages of they take advantage of opportunities, right? You know, when they present themselves. So in the story, remember I told you the story like last year, right? The rat took advantage of the ox. The ox is powerful, strong, and he's like, "Hey man, I need to get across this river. Can you help me out?" Now he didn't need to tell the ox all that other shit, that he was gonna just hop off his back and run and get first. That's all part of his strategy, the quick wit, the resourcefulness, it all, this is how these people think to get ahead. They're the smallest animal in the zodiac. So they have that kind of like you rap boys this year for sure. And girls too have that shit on this year. You can't even fucking cap. This year as I'm recording this video is 2026, so it's the year of the horse. So some of y'all are getting hit, but some of y'all ain't because you have, decent day master, right? Your day master actually saved you, right? But you still have that kind of like danger sense. And then you're like, how can I get out of the situation? What can I use to my advantage? There's some way I can maneuver around it. You have that type of, thinking going on in your head. Now, the best careers for you people born in the year of the rat, or your day master might be the rat, right? Administration, directors, managers, entrepreneurs, broadcasters, writers, musicians, comedians, maybe a politician, lawyer, um, researchers, or even racing cars, But, you know, where you fall if you're one of these kind of, animals, right? If you have it in your year or your day pillar, you can consider those jobs, right? Now I'm gonna go over the different types of rats, because there are 5 different types of year rats, right? So 1960, or this is the white rat. This is the metal rat. White rat, metal rat. You are born from January 28th, 1960 to February 14th, 1961. And that is the white rat or the metal rat. The next, rats are the black rats or the water rats. The natural element of the rat is actually water. So the people born in this year use the rat energy the best. All right. 12 or um, February 15th, actually. February 15th, 1972 to February 2nd, 1973. And that's the years for the people born the year of the black rat. All right. And remember that element is favorable for the rat. So you people born that year probably doing all right. You know. Green rats or wood rats, they are born from February 2nd, 1984 to February 19th, 1985. And these are the green rats, people born the year of the green rat or the wood rat. You now have the next rats, which are the red rats or the fire rats. These are people born, closer to my age, but they're a little older than me because they're born from February 19th, 1969 to February 6th, 1997. February 19th, 1996 to February 6th, 1997. And that is the red rat or the fire rat. And then we got the youngins on here, about to be adults soon, not quite there yet, but some of them, are now. The brown rat, born from February 7th, 2008 to January 25th, 2009. And those are the brown rats or the earth rat. Now let me explain what each of these rats, traits are, to like distinguish them or whatever. You can basically distinguish them easily. The earth rat's the youngest one at like 18 or almost 18 years old to the fucking, white rats. No, there's two white rats. There's the ones that are like in their 60s or nearing their 70s, and then there's ones that are like really young, like still children. We ain't worried about that yet. But here are the traits of these animals, right? So if you're a green rat, let's start here, right? If you're a green rat or wood rat, your traits are you're being more independent, virtuous, and also talented. But you have a sense of teamwork, a strong sense of teamwork. You like camaraderie, you know, seeking, connections, that kind of thing, and working together with others. Now, fire rats, they're very energetic, brave, you know, quiet, cordial, and also friendly with people. But also very strict with themselves too. Those are people, who are a little bit older than me. Earth rats, you know, you guys, you young people, are amiable, honest, flexible, modest, and serious. Despite what people may tell you, you might be more, serious and about like no fake shit, kind of stuff, right? You also have a strong self-esteem for you earth rats. A strong sense of your self-esteem. How you view yourself in that way. Now the metal rat, these old heads, right? These truly older people, right? They're smart, you know, they have the ability to, do that. If they keep up with things. Talented, hot-tempered, envious, but they also have a strong sense of self-awareness. Like what they do, like they're aware of how they, affect other people. They have a strong sense of self-awareness. And then the water rats, these people who are older too, but younger than the, metal rats, right? They're talkative, but also can be shrewd and can be conservative more. But they're also like very wise. They don't like basically like they ain't gonna go out of their way to like get their business out to everybody. They have that danger sense about them, so they like know who they're more comfortable to like communicate with. They are talkative, but like if they don't like you, they'll probably be more like you know, get away. I don't like what that is. They have a better intuition than other rats, and you know, it helps them. And they're wiser. Now, some other little quick facts about these types. You know, and this also applies to your day pillar too. So if you have the rat in your day pillar, you might want to listen to this too. The lucky things about rats. So your lucky numbers will be 2 and 3, or anything having to do with 2 and 3. So like 32 and 23. Those are some lucky numbers for you. Um, Lucky days of the month are the 4th and the 13th of every month. Lucky colors: blue, gold, and green. Lucky flower: lilies and African violets. Your direction of luck is west, northwest, and southwest. Your lucky month. Now, this is like lunar month for like Chinese lunar month. So it's not the same. So I got the dates for you specifically. So the second lunar month period, which is from February 20th to March 21st. The fifth lunar month, which is from May 21st to June 21st. And the ninth lunar month, which is from September 23rd to October 22nd. And those are your favorable months, right? For people with rat energy in their year pillar or their day pillar. Unlucky things about your rats, right? So your colors, you want to try to avoid yellow and brown. If you like those colors, well, maybe you have a day element that's different, so it don't affect you as much. But those are unlucky colors that you should avoid. Unlucky numbers are 5 and 9. All right, those are unlucky numbers for you. Unlucky directions would be south and southeast, with your unlucky months being the 4th Chinese lunar month, which would equate to April 20th to May 21st. The 10th Chinese lunar month, which is October 23rd to November 22nd. And the 12th Chinese lunar month, which is from December 22nd to January 21st. And that is information on you rats, right? I hope you got a better sense of, your year, and what type of rat you are. Like I said, not all rats are the same. They all have like similar traits, but then, each rat has that element that, makes them a little different from other rats. That's where you get the 12-year gap in, generations. It just makes sense, right? Because like your older rats grew up in times when these newer rats, but you still might understand each other because you are rats. You're just different types of rats. And you're gonna get hit hard this year with, opposition. Um, some of y'all will be better able to navigate that. Your day master might be another animal, so you might not feel like it's a bad thing. And you might, grow from these experiences, or you might And if it's the other way, you might, feel like the world is like coming against you and shit. You just gotta know that these things happen to everybody, and you will make it through if you believe in yourself. And you don't want to take a lot of risk this year, but you want to maintain what you got. And sometimes that's, a better feeling that you have something, right, than to lose that shit because you wanted to, try something new. When you could be a little more patient and wait. And you know what your situation is, especially if you're older than me. You know what your fucking situation is. You know where you're at in life, what you have to gain and what you have to lose. So be cool on the corner, and I'll be back on Friday with the ox.